How you doing? This is Ed from Lightning Licks, and we're going to talk about vibrato. There's basically four kinds of vibrato. The first one is blues rock, and let's start on the second string, 5th fret, with the first finger. And I'm going to play in position. My second finger will be on the 6th fret, third finger will be on the 7th fret, and the fourth finger will be on the 8th fret. You want to practice each of these vibrato types with each finger, so that you can get used to them, so you can play them any time that you need to. The first one, blues rock, is these tiny bends. They're little bends that go up and down. The next one is the classical style vibrato, which is a side-to-side vibrato. And that one sounds like this. Now you can vary the speed on these. I'll do this one a little faster. Now, when I do the classical vibrato, I do take my thumb off the back of the neck and basically just use my finger as sort of a fulcrum, if you will, and rock my wrist back and forth. So I hook the finger, and all the motion comes from the wrist. Okay? And the third vibrato is the circular vibrato, and here I'm just making tiny circles. Now, this vibrato is very subtle, and it's also very difficult to master. So a lot of people don't do it. You hear it in the playing of Steve Vai, in the playing of Frank and Dweezil Zappa. Steve Lukather uses it, Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton, folks like that. Folks that have a nice, soft vibrato when they need it. All the players that I mentioned also have faster vibratos, but they use many different types to get the effect that they're looking for. Okay, so this is a circular vibrato. And finally, the fourth vibrato, I name it number 4 because it's the one that I actually use the least. It's the one that looks the coolest and is probably one of the more dramatic ones. And that's the shake vibrato. Now, the shake vibrato is when you actually shake the neck of the guitar. And what happens is, if these are the strings and these are the frets, it causes them to go in opposite directions, giving it almost like a blues rock effect. Except that it looks cool to some people. I'd rather just use the blues rock myself. Okay, so now we're going to practice the first 3 with a click at 60. Blues rock. Now the classical. And finally, the circular. Oh, it's also important to note that when you're playing these, that you may need your other fingers to mute the strings that you don't want to ring out, because you sometimes get a little bit of sympathetic vibration, which is one of the reasons why I'm really not a big fan of the shake vibrato. Okay, so now you can use these anytime you land on a note. You can add them to the top of a bend. And you can practice them with each of your scales. Practice your scales slow. This way you can play the tone into your hands. I've got a tone exercise that you should check out as well, called long tones and rest strokes, and practice those, with the vibratos, and I will see you here next time. Thanks.